Myself is Prabhakaran, taking care of corporate business Epson. I am proud to be a part of SMB Conclave, as that speakers told earlier. As Epson India, we started a business in a very small way only. Now we in a 1,400 crore company, and we started business in the printing industries. Now we are into that Epson industrial robots especially for industrial and medical applications. And our success is mainly for that product reliability, affordability, of course, TCO is the main important, and adaptability. Thank you. And I will pay that our AV, it will show our Epson product at AV. Thank you.
Epson India Private.
Distinguished guests, and hello, Coimbatore. Let me share something about Coimbatore. I used to envy the entrepreneurship spirit in Coimbatore. I remember back in the 80s when the motor industry was growing up so much. The entrepreneur bug is just about touching the country. Earlier it was all nationalization and those era, soon after that era. I remember so many pump sets made, and we used to think about Coimbatore as the happening place. And even now I find the spirit of Coimbatore to be high, even when I speak to anybody. So my kudos to Coimbatore for a wonderful spirit of entrepreneurship. So I'm proud. I'm so honored to be able to come to Coimbatore all the way from Cochin. It's not such an entrepreneurial place. It's much more of a tourist.
That deserves a bigger round of applause. Proud Coimbatorians.
So from a place which is more known for tourism, and they're more laid back, and you know what happens in Kerala, it's a little different. To be talking to such spirited entrepreneurs is such a great honor. So thank you so much for inviting me. So let me just share. I can only have the credit of being in the aerospace industry for the last 20 years, and from the entrepreneur's perspective, what is my experience? So I just broke it down to few points so that I can finish it in this short 15 minutes and share it with you. Dr. Shiv Kumar and Dr. Swami had given you after such eminent people giving you such in-depth possibilities and guidances of how to think and how to go forward, and with such high spirits of entrepreneurship with you, you know what to do better than me in your own domain. In aerospace industry, so first I'll just give you a short note about the company Verdant, so that you can get an idea where we are, and that is a proof of aerospace industry in a pure R&D kind of a domain can survive and become kicking. It is started 20 years back, and right now we are supporting all the major aerospace programs, including the LCA, ALH, LCH, and the current upgrade programs for Jaguar and Su-30 and so on. As well as we are exporting to countries like France, Thales, SNC, US, IAI, Israel, to name a few of the countries we export to. Okay, that's a rosy picture. Why I gave you that is to feel good about it, because I'm also going to share something which is not so interesting also, so you should not feel bad about it. So I would want to relate to conclude that, though the toil is there, it can be. So I'm a living example that it can be a success. So to start with, I might bomb you with some difficult points. It's a long gestation industry. So keep in mind, it's a long gestation industry. I don't have a percentage to tell you. I can only relate to you a story of my own. It might be tougher than a usual case because we started as a hobby and then moved forward. We have taken 8 years to break even. Okay, so that's a very long time. So defense industry is generally long gestation. Dr. Shiv Kumar has told about the tank story. You take the LCA story. They are programs for decades. So until and unless the program is successful, you cannot look at effective commercialization. You'll have spin-offs and probably other applications. So be prepared for the long haul. So be very prepared for the long haul and stay put. Only then you can get into the industry. So pick up your point, pick up your strength. Not like a general business. I don't have to tell true technology entrepreneurs like Coimbatorians how to pick up things, but pick up in your domain and stay long there. It is meant for a long haul. So long gestation is a very important point to keep in mind. Regulator driven. Next point is regulator. Here, Dr. Shivkumar was talking to you about CEMILAC, is the Center for Military and Airworthiness Certification. We are a organization which is certified by CEMILAC, the design facility certified by CEMILAC, but that's not enough. Your facility is certified, plus each product has to be certified. Okay, each product has to go through a certification. In aerospace industry, they're very worried about safety criticality. I would like to relate to a story for an interview I did a few years earlier by a young fellow, an ITI fellow. It's not a very highly educated fellow. The smart boy was sitting here, so I asked him plainly, why do you think it's so critical? In local language, no Malayalam. Why do you think it's so critical? He said, Sare, plane പറക്കുമ്പം നമുക്ക് വഴിയരിത്തിട്ടിട്ട് റിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ലല്ലോ. കാറാണെങ്കിൽ റോഡിലോട്ട് മാറ്റിയെത്തിയിട്ട് പഞ്ചർ ഒട്ടിക്കാൻ. So, very interesting point. So, that point, please note, you can't park it aside and repair it. You just fall down. So, anything in an aircraft, going to space, you just fall down. So, whether or no people in space, for rocket launch, we are not, manned mission is still yet to come in India. Or military case, you might lose not so many people, maybe very smaller people, but might not lose life, but you have mission criticality also. Imagine a fighter pilot going for a special mission for some case, which is whatever. I can't detail about defense things. So the secretive tendencies are there. So that mission is so critical for the nation, and he's doing it. And you imagine your work supports him, or the mission of the nation. It might be a war scenario, it might be a non-war scenario, it could be anything. So mission is so important, even more than lives at times. Sir can give you more details, okay, how critical missions can be. So mission criticality. So because all these things are there, this industry is very, very careful. They don't take risks, they can't take risks. So that's why it's completely regulatory ridden. I wouldn't say regulatory ridden is a very negative term. It's a regulated industry. I'm talking about technology regulation. Okay, and there's CEMILAC, and then the quality regulator is there. DGAQA is there. So you can find in technology and quality areas the two regulators already there. Now recently, over and above that, you have commercial regulations coming for exports, for selling these things. This all started off after the huge issue of terrorism and all these things, of the ITAR control from the US. There was a regulation for technology in such domains, started off with nuclear related and chemical related and spread out to all technologies in the domain. In India, it's called SCOMET. Okay, so it's a small SCOMET. It recently come up. It's not, earlier anything can be exported. Like any industry, export means government just supports you. So now that's also going to change. It has already started. Slowly for exports, it has to, just be completely controlled, and then only you can sell. So it's completely regulatory, in a regulated domain. So keep that in mind. That also you'll have to be careful. And I share the conservative part also. Then you do, and only people who think of continually growing can be in this industry. I heard about Mac, a wonderful job. All these things have to be protected, because once it gets out somewhere, because you're going to do only institutional sale, somebody somewhere hits it, goes to the wrong person, then you end up generating a competitor, end up giving information to a competitor. Because information is valuable. I just want to share the story of information. We were developing antenna for the Jaguar, which is out of production, and we're facing difficulty. HAL was in very difficult situation, and we had to go and arrive at some special ferrites for this, and it needed a specific thermoelectrical property which was not available in the data sheets. So we had to buy material from all over the world to establish this property and correlate with some standard properties which they have given in the data sheet. So this process had taken us 2 years, okay? And then we finally, interestingly, we went all across the globe and came back to India and found the thing in here. That was an interesting thing that happened. You'll find some very interesting stories as we move on. And when the product was finally identified, the result of the product, the identification, which just took us something like 6 to 7 lakhs worth of material procurement and 2 years of work. I mean, I don't know how much cost that will be. You can imagine at current rate what it will be. 2 years of work, and the 6 to 7 lakhs in those days would be relating to maybe I don't know, take a thumb rule into 5. Okay, that is the cost, and the end result is the name of the company, and the product name is a 4-digit 2256. Okay, so if you have the name of the company and this digit product name, you're getting information which is worth so much of